20 years after Scott Peterson was locked away, the story isn't over. A bombshell petition by the Los Angeles Innocence Project may flip the narrative, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Was justice truly served, or just staged? So the LA Innocence Project, which is different as far as I understand than the Innocence Project bigger umbrella, claims that they have new scientific evidence that supports that the date of when Connor Peterson, their son, passed away was later than claimed at trial. And somehow this is just going to blow the lid off of his conviction. And he's going to be, I guess, getting back onto Freedom Town. Maybe a new trial. I don't know. Anyhow. We're going to look into what's going on here because just when you thought the case was gone and he was behind bars forever, he's angling to get out. So let's see what we can find out. Of course, it's all alleged for entertainment purposes only, not facts. Psychic downloads, snarky opinions. If you're a big fan of Scott Peterson, goodbye. I don't want any fanboys. Anyhow, or girls. And let's just see what we can find out. Okay, so what are the hidden motives, or were there any hidden motives behind getting Scott Peterson convicted? Was there a shady staged trial? Was there shady staged evidence? I mean, I'm open to hearing if there was something that was held from the trial, like this evidence that they say will show his innocence. But I don't know. So was there some shenanigans going on with the evidence presented at Scott Peterson's trial? Because I think that's going to just tell us where the rest of this is going. Oh, shit. There's some type of shenanigans. Excuse me. What kind? Wonder if this is like a whole, I was going to say helter-skelter kind of thing here. Look at that. What in the world? Now there is. Well, so some of the evidence presented here, somebody wanted a conviction. I'm just going to say that. I don't remember who was in charge of what when back there. That's so many years ago. Somebody did want a conviction, and it was like, get the conviction no matter what. So there is some type of like, this is not totally honest and thorough process of justice, but like most things, they're not always fair. Right? Got it. Okay. There's just, I'm going to bring out Mildred because there's some strategy going on here. They've got some piece of evidence that they did not disclose to the defense. And I'm not here to say I'm a big fan of Scott Peterson because I think he's a scumbag. And my opinion, I think he did it. But this looks like there's some shady shit going on. Just going to say. I mean, if he committed the perfect crime, then you can't just lock him up just because you want to. That's not right. Okay. Yeah, look at this. So it's almost like whoever was behind this prosecution saying, we have the evidence. We know he's guilty. But some of the things there's a concern about the jury, and I don't know. It feels very much like if you were in the royal family and you're talking about the peasants, like the jury's full of dunderheads, like jury pools in general are filled with dunderheads, which I would kind of agree. I don't like the idea of people who go on juries because usually they're dunderheads. My opinion, not all of them, but my opinion, big majority of them are dunderheads. Anyhow. So there's this idea. We have evidence. We have enough to convict him. However, I'm worried about that we're going to have some, I don't know, independent ding-dong here who's going to mess up the whole thing. And we can't have that. Okay. There's something here about protecting themselves from like some, I don't know if they foresaw this strategy coming down the pike, that there'd be a challenge to the evidence. That they know there's something here that's, I don't know if it's what LA Innocence Project has, but they know that there's something here that could be challenged. Okay. And it has to do with the water. How interesting is that? They're holding on to this piece of evidence that could, I don't know that it'll change his conviction. It doesn't feel like it, but it feels like it could have murkied the waters. Sorry for the thing. But they were afraid of what the jurors would have done with that information. So they did withhold something, my opinion, to keep the wheels of justice moving. Like, they're convinced this is our guy. He did this. But if we presented this piece of information, then the jurors would have had reasonable doubt and he would have gotten away with it. Okay, yeah. So this is what they did. They kept something. Okay. Can't we just have clean trials? Shit, probably in the future will be AI. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Anyhow. Okay, so is this evidence? Now, LA Innocence Project, they claim that the evidence proves that the passing of Connor Peterson was later than what they claimed at the trial, which would change the whole crime timeline. So what the LA Innocence Project has, what they're saying is the new evidence. Is this the same as what the government has? We'll say government, the officials that prosecuted him, whatever, Modesto, whoever's. I think this is the same evidence that the LA Innocence Project has the same information that the officials have. And they had to fight and fight and fight to get this. And they think this is like groundbreaking. Like, this has convinced LA Innocence Project, like they're all, oh God, they have the wrong man. Like, it's that this piece of evidence they found. They're just like, yeah, this is totally going to do it. So this is why they've been working on it. Working hard. At the end of the day, they're not so sure that it's a smoking gun that they need, but they're willing to take their chances here with it. There's this like, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. There's a lot of other factors that go into this evidence. I don't know. I'm not a pathologist or forensic whatever, none of that stuff. But there's something in here where the information is not as reliable as they may think it is. It'll be a battle of experts here, and probably how much you pay to get the best expert, right? That's what this evidence is. It's not a smoking gun, because you're going to have to get people on your team to say what you want them to say, which I hate paid experts. I hate them. All these people get swayed and whatever. Like Noguchi, don't even get me started on that dude. Anyhow. So that seems to be what's going on. So there was some type of shadiness. Let's see what Scott Peterson is thinking about his odds of, maybe getting a new trial or getting out of jail or whatever. Oh, he's buying into whatever they're thinking they're going to do. He thinks it's like 50-50. Maybe we'll get in. Maybe I'll see the sunshine. Oh, no, Scott Peterson, stop it. N-O, bro. I'm going to say now, I think that he thinks his odds are better than 50-50, that he's going to get another shot. It's almost like with the passage of time, things have become more illuminated and there's been advancements in scientific whatevers. And so he thinks that this is going to be great. Then here's the next thing. He's thinking he's going to pull like Stephen Avery, get some money for being locked up and it was not warranted, and he needs to get his restitution from the government. Good luck. California's broke, okay? Anyhow. He's looking to become rich off of that, and then he wants to, close that chapter behind him and move on into his new life. Doing what? I don't know. But yeah. He thinks there's a pretty good shot here. Okay. What does the officialdom think about? Are they worried about the new evidence or the old evidence that they didn't disclose? I don't know. What's the prosecution feeling? They worried, shaking in their boots, nonplussed. Uh-oh. Not that again. Holy moly, I'm starting to think they're shady. Allegedly, in my opinion, don't come to my house. They got it wrapped up in the bag. Like, and by that I mean, like, if they need to do shady shit, it's wrapped up in the bag, my opinion. No, they're not letting him out at all. No way, Jose. This ain't gonna fly. There's no, They got more tricks up their sleeve than you know. They got more tricks up their sleeve than you know. This is almost... If they get backed into a corner where there's a retrial, they have more tricks up their sleeve to keep him locked up. He ain't getting out. Not if they have anything to do with it. Oh, my. Oh, my. All right, well, that's what we got on Scott Peterson and thinking he's going to catch some freedom. Well, the prosecutors would say that's a no, sir. But until next time, adios.